Welcome to Inspiring Women with ADHD. I am Renee Allen, the host and creator of this podcast, and I am excited to be here today. My topic today is why even simple things, simple tasks feel hard to do. And these are things that we probably need to do, or even, I don't know, I wouldn't say we want to do them. Maybe once earlier in our lives, we enjoyed doing it, we were fine doing it, but for some reason now it just feels a lot harder to do. And when you think about doing it, you either just avoid it, dread it, or you think in your mind of all the steps, all the things that you need to do to make that happen. I think of it differently than overwhelm, and it could fall into that category of overwhelm. But for me anyway, when I'm feeling completely overwhelmed to get something done, it's usually something that I have to focus on or I have to set aside time for, and it may take a chunk of time. Maybe if I had 4 hours this afternoon, then I could clean up this room, or I could work on this project, or I could write this article. I could do that if I had that amount of time to just focus on it and hopefully be able to focus on it or just get going with it. Or if I had somebody here to do it with, the overwhelm is I could actually do it pretty easily and I don't hate doing it or don't dread doing it. I just don't feel like I can do it right now. Or it just is kind of causing me to be paralyzed. That task paralysis of where you sit there and you think, I know I need to get moving on this. I know I need to get moving on it. That's more in the overwhelm category, or mostly those kind of things where they're bigger ideas or bigger projects or bigger tasks. The simple tasks, the simple things that fall into that dread, so many steps when they actually do have that many steps, but for most people, they don't see the steps. When you have ADHD, you tend to see the steps, and it can be different for different women with ADHD. But recently, I saw on Reddit a whole thread, a whole post. Is it a thread? Is it a post? About dreading taking a shower. Dreading taking a shower. And I didn't used to dread taking a shower for years. I mean, for my whole life. I woke up, I took a shower, got on with my day, or if I worked out first thing in the morning, I worked out and then I took a shower after that. It was not a big deal. It wasn't until the COVID time, and that's what I blame it on, that I started seeing it differently, where I realized you really don't need to take a shower. You're going to teach your yoga class on Zoom. It's fine if you don't take a shower. You're not going to see anybody today. Then I started thinking of all the things that I wouldn't have to spend time on if I didn't take a shower. My hair wouldn't get wet. I wouldn't have to comb it out. I wouldn't have to wait for it to dry or fix it. I've never liked blow drying my hair and doing those kind of steps. That's always just seemed like, ah. So I go between having a hairstyle or just having hair that I pull back, and the hair that I pull back has been my go-to for quite a few years. But having a hairstyle is different where you get it cut, and I still go get it cut sometimes, but you get it cut and you actually style it to look cute. And to me, that takes a lot of work, takes a lot of effort. So somewhere along the line, I decided that that was something that had all these steps and it wasn't worth my time, or I just didn't want to spend the time on it, or the idea of it, doing it sounded like too much. Flossing teeth, brushing teeth, that could be something that you dread. That I know I need to do this, it's the end of the day. Or it could be something like you're thinking, why would anybody have a problem with brushing their teeth? It doesn't take that long. Why would they have a problem with flossing? It doesn't take that long and it's just fine. I'm fine with brushing my teeth, but the spin brush, my husband bought one years ago. The dentist probably told him it was good for his gums. The dentist told me the same thing. I bought one for each of us. He used it, and I hardly ever did because I think it has, what, a 2-minute timer? And I thought, that just takes so long. The way I brush my teeth, I don't know, it takes 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And it just seemed overwhelming to me to stand there and have that spin brush go all the way around. I finally bought myself another one. I don't know what happened to the first one, but I'm using it more often, but I'm still not in the groove of using it daily. And I even bought a water pick because I asked my dental hygienist, what's the biggest step? What's the most important thing that I should do for my gum health for plaque, whatever, builds up? And she said the water pick. And I thought, oh, no, that sounds even more overwhelming than the spin brush. Because I asked her, what about the spin brush? And she goes, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's really good. That's better than the regular brush. But the water pick was the main thing. So I have one of those too. Still don't use it all the time. I would like to. Maybe I could get myself to not dread it. And I wouldn't even say I dread it. Some things we just avoid. And if we think about doing them, if we really want to make ourselves do it, then we might have a little bit of the dread factor. But back to the shower. The shower. Do you dread taking a shower at all? Or do you avoid taking a shower? Do you have anything that could or should be in your normal routine that other people seem to do just fine every day, every morning, or every night, and you just can't get yourself to do it? Or you avoid doing it? Or you go multiple days doing it? Why do you think that is? Is there something about it that's a negative experience for you? With the shower, I first blamed it, and I didn't know I had ADHD at the time in 2020. I first blamed it on not needing to go anywhere, but then I realized that that bathroom had pink tile. I doubt it still does. We sold that house and they've been doing all kinds of remodeling. I went by, I get so attached to my houses. I wanted to go in and look around, and they didn't let me do that. I just had to peek through the door while I stood and talked to them at the doorstep. But anyway, that the bathroom that we had this pink tile, and it wasn't horrible, but I maybe it's coming back in style, I don't know, but probably not. But we spent some money redoing our downstairs bathroom, just replacing the tub and shower. And then we were gonna use the same people to do the upstairs bathroom. They didn't end up being a good fit for us for a lot of reasons that can happen with contractors, and I don't think legally they were contractors. It was a father-son duo. That's probably why that wasn't very expensive and it wasn't a good experience. But when I did bring a contractor and a plumber and different people to our upstairs bathroom, it just costs too much. And the whole idea of spending that much money and the overwhelm, the dread factor of doing without having your bathroom for that long, because I knew what it was like with the downstairs bathroom, we didn't end up doing it. So when I would take a shower, I would look at the things that I didn't like in the bathroom and it would bother me. And the only thing I did that improved that is that shower had 2 shower heads that faced each other, so it was a long shower. There was no bath in that bathroom, it was just a shower. So it was like a double shower, and the nice thing about it is there was a window and you could look out and you could see the mountains, the Santa Cruz Mountains. We lived in California. It was beautiful looking out the window. And the plumber even said it wasn't regulation, or maybe the contractor, to have a window that low that you could see out. It's not like anyone could see me, but maybe standard has to be up much higher, like our shower now. But we could see out and we had a view, which was nice. But the 2 shower heads and things, it just wasn't very pretty in there. So I finally replaced one of the shower heads with a really beautiful one that I never used because I knew I knew if I used it, it would get, how they just start to not look as pretty and they're hard to clean and stuff. So I used my husband's side of the shower instead and would always look at the one that had never been used. That made it a little more pleasant. But when you have a brain that thinks of things you need to do, and you just think of tasks besides what you're actually doing, that could make you dread it. That could make you not like it. But as time went on, I started thinking about well, if I get my hair wet, then I have to take my shower this much earlier than when I leave the house, because I do leave the house sometimes with my hair wet, but I don't think it's a good way to show up to teach yoga. So then I've got, you know, the air conditioning on or something trying to dry my hair. So all those things, do you have lots of steps that make you think, if I go in there, I have to do this, I have to do that, that make it so you avoid it? And does that cause any problems in your life? Do you have other things that you could do that make it so you don't have to take a shower every day. Dry shampoo. I have a shower cap, not just the flimsy ones that you get, when you go to a hotel or something, but I think it was World Market used to sell some and they were fabric on the outside. I'm sure online places make them too, but this one's really, really nice. Sorry about my phone sound. That probably picked up. I hardly ever, ever, ever have my notifications on. But today I was waiting for a message back from my son, so I turned him on because I feel bad when I don't have them on. And when I turn them on, it showed up in my podcast. But sorry about that. But yeah, shower caps are actually helpful because your hair doesn't get wet. You can put a headband on, pull your hair back, put the shower cap on, take it off, and you don't have to spend any time with your hair except for revamping it a bit. The only negative to that is if you love the feeling of the hot water on your head, that's part of your enjoyment of the whole shower experience. You don't get that with the shower cap on. It does not feel the same. But yeah, enough about the shower. If you want to find that thread on Reddit, I think it's in the Women with ADHD group. There are a ton of good suggestions there, which I think we can all think of in some way. Is there a podcast I could listen to? Some music every time I get in the shower, I'll listen to this song. There is that idea or strategy with ADHD about a Spotify playlist. Have you ever heard of that? And what you do is you make a morning schedule playlist. I haven't done this because I don't know if it would work for me, but it might. Maybe I should give it a try. But the idea is you wake up and you put on your playlist, and each song, like, some songs are 2 minute songs, some are 3 minutes long. And the first song, you go in and you brush your teeth and go to the bathroom. Second song, you go and get some water and drink your water and take your medicine. The third song, you step in the shower. And maybe you're in the shower for that whole song or two or three songs. And then after that, you have the other song for getting your makeup on. And each of those songs not only help you know what the next step is, but if you enjoy that playlist, you get to enjoy that experience. Maybe you sing along or whatever. And that also, brings some dopamine and makes you feel a little better. It puts that nervous system into the relaxed. Even though you're happy and energetic, it puts you into uh, that parasympathetic nervous system. So, yeah, and the other thing that it helps with is if you have time blindness, if you go in to put your makeup on and you think, okay, I have 10 minutes before I have to be out of here, and you go in there and all of a sudden think, oh my goodness, I'm late. How am I 15 minutes late? I thought, I only had 10 minutes and now it's 25 minutes later. If you have that music on, it gives you that time frame and helps you know, hey, the second song's done, that you're almost to your third, you got to finish up here. So that might be helpful for you with your routine if you really do need to take a shower every day, to have that be one of your songs or two of your songs, or have something like that that you look forward to. And yeah, I do know that music makes a big difference in having that Pavlovian effect of it's a little trigger and it makes you do something, because I have a few playlists for my workouts that I have been using for years. And there are certain songs that I put them on and I have to do jump squats, or I have to do burpees, or I have to run over to the heavy bag and do some boxing, because that's what I used to do. That's what I love to do. That was part of my cardio routine. Or one song, Maroon 5, what's it called? That I don't know. Um, I'm afraid if I can sing it, I think there's copyright things, so I probably can't really sing it. And I can sing better than that, but not on the spot. Not on the spot. And really not that much better. But that song, it always makes me do walking lunges because I used it in a workout consistently long enough that when I hear those songs, that's what my body, my mind, my energy wants to do. And so if you have a shower song, that could help you with your shower. But what if it's not the shower that overwhelms you? What if it's something else? What are you avoiding, and what have you caused to be something that just seems like, oh, that's I don't have time for that. That would take way too long. That would be too much effort. And you evaluate it in your brain. It's not really a procrastination. It's not even an avoidance. It's just building it up. It's building all these steps. So if you see all these steps, you've built a mountain. That's not, I don't know, it just doesn't sound like something you want to do right now. I don't have time for that. I don't have the energy for that. I've started doing that with going to the store. And I didn't used to do it with the grocery store. I used to do it with drive-throughs. I would think, my kids, and they're all adults now, but when they were younger, I knew other moms took their kids to the drive-through a lot. Can we stop and can we get this food on the way home? And I would just look at that store and see that line and think, no, by the time we get home, by the time, we got through that line and you had your food, we'd be home. Like, why would I want to go through that effort when I can just get home? I love being home. I wanted to get home. But it wasn't just a one-time thing. It was a multiple time over and over and over. And I've seen that spill into other parts of my life, of other places to go or things to do on the way home. Just to give you an idea of identifying steps, because it could be a lot of little steps. So if I were to stop at the grocery store on my way home from whatever doctor's appointment or something, in my mind, I see I'm going to have to pull off the road and go into the parking lot. I'll need to find a parking spot. I'll need to put the car in park and turn off the lights. I usually have the headlights on and grab my keys, put my keys in a place that I won't lose them, that I'll find them when I come back out. And if I have a jacket with the zipper pocket, that's my best option because I can just reach with my right hand. If I have a purse, I try to think of a place that's not in the very bottom because I don't like to be bumbling for my keys. So then you get your keys, then you get out of the car. Did I grab my purse? Did I grab my sunglasses? I like to walk into the store with sunglasses. My eyes are more sensitive now. And I usually have my sunglasses on when I'm driving. So then you walk in and I need to lock the car. Oh, yeah, that's when I put my keys away. Then I put the keys away, walk in the store. Where am I going to put my sunglasses? So all these things are decisions that I have to make when I go to the store. And I haven't even walked through the store yet. And once I walk through the store, that isn't as bad, but in my mind, that's going to take a long time and I'll probably spend more money than I need to. But I walk through the store, I buy the things, I like self-checkout. I don't have a problem with that, although I have left bags at self-checkout before that I've paid for, and that's a problem. I think that doesn't happen as much when you go through the regular line because the person at the check stand will say, "Hey, don't forget this bag." But anyway, and here's one of the things, is when I'm doing self-checkout, I don't feel as scattered when it's time to find my credit card to pay because I don't feel that pressure. If I'm in line with a person working at the counter, and I like that because I like to talk to people and stuff, but when it's time to find the credit card, I always feel like I'm scrambling in my wallet. And I used to have a wallet that the zipper thing, I used to keep changing my wallet. I try not to now, but they would always pour out, and or a couple credit cards would fall out anyway. Yeah, so when I do self-checkout, that's easier. But then you walk out to the car, you have to find the car. I don't always remember where I parked or which car I'm driving because my car's broken. I'm driving my husband's for the most part. And and then you find your car and then you have to put the things away and then get in the car and then did you shut the trunk right? And anyway, find your keys. Oh yeah, I usually find the keys before I walk out of the store because I like to have them on my wrist. So I'm not looking for that when I see the car. But and then you get home and you know it's not over because you're going to drive home and you have to carry in the groceries and put them away. So that's one that I've resolved since moving here is we have grocery delivery. And it's not very much. It's like $5 a month. And they don't allow tipping, so that doesn't cost any more. They say we pay our employees well. It's with Kroger. But sometimes I still need to go to the store and it doesn't feel like something it doesn't sound like too much if that's the only thing I'm doing when I'm leaving the house. But if it's an on the way home thing, I think that's where it's different because in my mind, the goal is to get home and not have to do all those things to get home. And when I get home, I can't just relax because I have things to put away. And what's crazy, and I don't know if you see this in yourself, if you have some things that you dread, did you used to love doing it? I used to love grocery shopping. I used to love coming home and putting the things away. Like love, love, love. I did it in high school, I did it in college, I did it young married, I did it for years. But somewhere along the line, and maybe it's partially because I don't have as many kids at home, where before I could call them on the way home and say, "Hey, I'm headed home from Costco. When I get home, I want everyone outside to help me bring things in." And it was fun. Like, it made it a lot more fun when I wasn't the only one doing it. When I was in high school, I'm sure my mom was there helping me put things away, but I liked it on my own too. So sometimes our brains find things that just sound like way too much when maybe at one time it wasn't. But we do shift, we do change as we get older. What about something like the normal routine, like washing your face? Think of all the steps that you would have to do to wash your face. It probably doesn't sound like that many to someone who loves doing it, or maybe to a man, your husband, who doesn't wash his face at night. He just takes a shower in the morning or takes a shower at night. For me, these are all the steps that I wrote down. And I invite you, if you have anything that could or should be part of your routine that you don't like to do and that you don't do as often as maybe you could or should do, write down all the steps because it might surprise you. If I thought of all the steps to wash my face, I probably would think it would be, I don't know, like 10 or 7 or something. I came up with 23. Actually, my 23rd is that I was done. But there could be a lot, right? I probably even missed some going into the store, like starting the car or whatever when it's time to leave. But I think that I don't mind doing that as much because it's not like I'm bumbling trying to find a key or the keys or my sunglasses or whatever. But for washing my face, this is what I see in my mind for washing my face at night is number 1, pulling my hair back so my bangs don't get wet. I don't like when I lean over to the water and splash my face with water that my bangs get wet. And then I have to get the face cleanser out of the drawer. I don't like leaving stuff on the counter. It'd be easier if everything was on the counter, but I like a cleaner counter. So I have to open the drawer, take it out, and then I have to walk across the bathroom and get a washcloth. So it's ready to dry my face because I'd rather dry my face with a washcloth than a towel. Turn on the water, wash my face, lather it up, and turn off the water, dry off my face, and then find the toner, which I really don't know if I believe in toner, but we're told we're supposed to use it. And my mom gave me some Lancome cleanser and toner things. So I've been trying, I mean, yeah, for a long time. I tried when I buy things like this to use them. Take the lid off the toner, put it on, put the lid back on, put away the cleanser and the toner, get some moisturizer out, apply the moisturizer, look for some eye cream, or I usually use coconut oil, and then put that on my eyes, grab a cloth because usually I get too much of my eyelashes, and that kinda helps take off my eye makeup. I don't like eye makeup remover, it burns my eyes, so anyways, that's what I use to get my mascara or eyeliner off, and so I grab another cloth, take off that excess moisture on the eyelashes, put away the washcloth or put it in the dirty laundry pile, put moisturizer and eye cream back in the drawer, take off the headband, put away the headband, and then I'm done. It's a lot of things, huh? It's a lot of things, but if you enjoy it, then it probably doesn't feel like anything. I'm sure there's things that I do that are second nature to me, like making bread. I like making homemade bread with yeast. I've tried the sourdough. It's a lot of steps. It's a lot. I don't know. It's just I just don't understand it as much. But see, here I'm saying it's a lot of steps. You might think that with bread with yeast, making homemade bread to me is like, oh, that's easy. That's not a problem because I learned to do it and did it enough that I don't know, it's soothing for me and the reward is great. I like that reward. And with washing my face, I don't know that I love how it feels after I've washed it. I don't know that I love much about it. A shower, I do love that hot water. So, what could you do with the shower besides the hot water that can make you love taking a shower? Because finding a reward to a habit that we need to do is one of the keys for getting yourself in that habit. And with a shower, there's body wash. I never buy body wash. I put it in Christmas stockings. That's about it. But I don't know. I'd rather just use shampoo or soap. But if you enjoy a certain smell, certain fragrance of shampoo, you look forward to lathering up, or you look forward to the hot water, or even if you don't look forward to it and you just take that first step and find something once you're in there that you look forward to. It kind of silly a silly thing that I love doing when I'm in the shower. It gives me a great sense of reward. I don't know if you feel like this or not. It's when I complete, like I finish up a bottle of shampoo or conditioner or whatever's in there, because it feels good to like be done with it and throw it away and get it out a new one. That's what I kind of like the most. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. But if you can find something to make it easier for you to do, make it enjoyable, even if you like kind of that massagey feeling, having a loofah sponge or the brush that feels good on the sides of your legs or your arms. The thing that I found lately that I really like is I like buying bar soap, like homemade soap that people make that has maybe an essential oil, or I like frankincense soap. I also love how it looks. It to me they're like little pieces of art, and I just think they're so beautiful. And then I like the rich fragrances or the rich smells. I don't know that they're actually, fragrance, but goat milk soap and the way it lathers. The thing that I don't like is that it gets a lot smaller, and all of a sudden that beautiful bar of soap with the sharp edges is just getting more flimsy and stuff, especially if you live in a humid climate. So at the beginning, I really like using the edges of the bar soap. I think it feels great on my hands, my wrists, but I don't like that it gets, kind of dissolves and then it can clog my drain and stuff. So I found, and maybe you found this too, there are different kinds of little soap bags, and I found one that I really love that's actually made by a, a company that makes shampoo soap, and I don't use shampoo soap, but they use it for that. And the texture of it on my arms, just from that little bag, feels really good, like a skin brush or something. So that's something I've enjoyed. Or if you buy soap with coffee grounds, that it's actually made with coffee grounds, it feels like you're massaging your skin. You get that kind of roughness on it. So, yeah, there are different things like that. And there are, what are those body scrubs that are made with like crushed almonds, or I kind of forgot about that till right this second. But those feel good too. So anything that you can find that helps an experience feel better, that may not actually get you in the shower, but if, like it might not get you to look forward to it, you might still have to push yourself to get in. But once you take that step, or if you lower the expectation, you lower the barrier. I already said the thing with the shower cap, but if a full shower cap feels impossible, sometimes I just turn it on and just use the little hose part and just wash my body off and get back out. And just that's as fast as I'm going to do. And when I do that, when I do my quickest shower ever, it's kind of energizes me to think, it's not like I'm challenging myself. Can I do this in 5 seconds or 10 seconds or less? But I do just get in there, wash myself off, and knot my head. And I don't feel like I'm missing anything because I actually do that with cold water. I don't even wait for the water to heat up. I just get in there and just shower as quickly as I can and think I got myself clean. That is good. It's like washing my hands. It doesn't take much longer than that. You can also even use a washcloth at your sink if you really can't get yourself to step in the shower. It's better than not being clean or having smells that you don't want to have, because I haven't dealt with that, but I mean, who knows? Maybe people just haven't told me, right? And the interesting thing to me about this, of the things we avoid versus maybe just a habit that we like doing and we just can't fit it into our day, or we just don't have enough time for it, but we really want to be doing it, is that some of the tips that work for that, like doing a task alongside a friend, or someone in your family, like, let's both do this at the same time. I'll clean my room and you clean your room, and we'll bring our things out that we're going to give to the thrift store. Or, just telling somebody, I'm going to do this. I'm going to text you for accountability. I'm going to go work out. I don't know. It just doesn't, it, it's not the kind of thing that you're going to tell your friend, okay, I'm going to go to the grocery store on the way home today. You do it too, and we'll check in with each other. In some ways, there are things that you almost don't even tell people you dread doing, because you just start to wonder, am I the only person that hates doing this? Or does it even matter? You start to analyze and question, does it even matter if I don't change my sheets every week, like people say? I don't like doing that. Then it adds more laundry and it does this. Some things you might change that gauge of does it matter. It used to be that people thought we needed to wash our hair, shampoo our hair every day. I say our hair. People used to think they needed to shampoo their hair every day. We were kind of told that by the world before dry shampoo came out. And you almost felt bad if you didn't shampoo your hair every day. When I was in college, one of my roommates told me about the baby powder trick. And then later I just changed it to cornstarch because it was a little bit cheaper and I didn't always like the smell of baby powder. But those were early pre dry shampoo days where we realized it's really just the oils in your hair that are weighing the hair down, and this could make a difference. And the dry shampoo has that powder in it. It also probably has a few other things too. But society at some point started saying, or experts started saying, you actually don't need to wash your hair that often. And it's even better for your hair to not wash it that often. I have a friend who would go a whole month and she worked out every day. And she read enough up on it that she felt like that was more healthy for her hair to get the natural oils the way they should be. And I never looked into that much because I found that difficult to do. But you may know more about that than I do. But some of the things that we do to develop habits, like habit stacking, I'll do this and then I'll do that. I'll brush my teeth, then I'll get something to drink, some tea or coffee or pre-workout drink, and then I'll exercise and then I'll get in the shower. That habit stacking, it can work. It can work, but if you don't prioritize this thing that you dread and you start to tell yourself it really doesn't matter, I'm not going to do that. I feel like you almost have to tell yourself that in your head to not do it, to feel okay with not doing it. I don't know. Maybe there is some guilt involved, like the dental flossing, like flossing your teeth. We really do know that that's important, but doing it right after brushing my teeth, I don't know. If I force myself to do it every night for a month, would I look forward to it? I think I'll try that because I do know flossing's important. I don't know. Maybe I'll try that. I'll try the spin brush and the water pick instead. Isn't it funny how our brains negotiate? Like, no, I really do hate flossing that much. But I will. What is today? January 30th. Oh, and February is not even 30 days long, huh? But if I start today, that would give me 30 days. I start today, and then tomorrow's the 31st. That would give me, I don't think this is a leap year, is it? That would give me 30 days of trying spin brush and water pick every day and see if that habit stacking, waking up, going in there, that's my first thing I do, if that could be effective when I really don't like doing it. It might be. It might be. There are only 28 days in February this year. Was last year a leap year? I think maybe I remember that now. If not, yeah, there's my brain. But yeah, I think it's important for us to think about these things and recognize what we dread. Or if we do, maybe this isn't part of your ADHD journey, but maybe it's your daughters or your sons, and you can't get them to do something that you feel is important, or it is important for them. And understanding why they don't do it, and if there's something else they could do that's different that could take the place of it, like the dry shampoo thing. Or, just teaching them those skills instead of this is the only way and you have to do it this way. You need to make your bed every day. I used to want my kids to make their beds every day and have a clean room when they left the house. And that was important to me. And then you start hearing things like it's actually healthier to give air to your sheets and not have not have your bed made. I don't know. Yeah, we all change over time. Now I don't care if they make their beds or not, but I mean my kids are adults, so but yeah, think about this. You've probably already thought of something that you avoid or dread, but actually breaking it down and seeing why, seeing if there's a way around it, seeing if there's a way to make it more enjoyable or something that you might like. And a lot of times, just buying that shiny new thing is helpful. Not always, but sometimes it is. Even for me wearing a shower cap. I love that one that's made of fabric. It's plastic on the inside, but I love it. It's cute. It's kind of a calico print, like a fabric like that would be on Little House on the Prairie for one of their dresses that they go into Mrs. Olson's store. And their ma would buy the fabric for them. Yeah, it's like that. So I that makes it a pleasant experience. And I actually kind of forgot about the shower cap until a week ago. I thought, "You have that shower cap. Keep it out where you can see it." And do that. Or maybe give yourself a bath with Epsom salts and candles or something like that every once in a while if you enjoy hot baths. I sure do. Yeah, I just don't want you to feel bad about needing strategies or not doing things that other people can do without a lot of effort, not beating yourself up about it, not thinking, "What's wrong with me?" There are a lot of reasons why our ADHD brains do this. When you understand how the ADHD brain is different than people who don't have this executive dysfunction or different challenges with their brains, it's helpful to just see, okay, this is why this is happening. And it's okay. It's okay. I'm not a bad person. I'm not a lazy person. I'm not a loser. Have you ever felt like that? Have you ever just thought, I'm such a loser? I can't even get myself to shower. I can't even get myself to do this. And, I don't know. I remember going to a spa night once and someone who was in charge of the evening and was talking about doing facials and washing your face. And all these steps are so important. I'd go to Mary Kay parties that always talk about all these steps of washing your face. And I thought, you're making me not want to wash my face more. Because when I was growing up, I could just buy like an apricot face scrub or something, and that felt important. And as it felt good on my face and it smelled good. But, you're taught this is how it needs to be. And the woman in charge was probably 15 years younger than me, at least. And she was saying, if you don't wash your face every night and take your makeup off and whatever made your face dirty that day, the impurities, the pores are clogged, all this kind of stuff, you'll age yourself at least 10 years. And I was probably in my 40s then, and I thought, people always think I'm younger than I am. I'm not worried about this. But I also haven't had a motivating factor that made me change it. Two of my daughters have told me if they don't wash their face, they will break out really badly. They will have skin problems for a week. I haven't had that problem, so it hasn't caused me to need to make a change. Kinda like with eating. When I had severe allergies, that was such a big problem 9 months of the year that I changed my eating drastically and saw a difference, and that kept me eating no dairy, eating mostly whole foods, that kind of diet, because it made such a huge difference, and sometimes the motivating factor can push us in that direction. Sometimes it can't. But back to the ADHD brain, if you overthink things, it's a common symptom of ADHD. You have lots of ideas, and that overactive idea brain, creative idea, or weighed down with, I have too many things to do, can also lead to, I have too many steps. I'm building these steps up to the sky, and I can't climb all those steps, or I don't want to climb all those steps. Your brain also may struggle to initiate tasks. and break down the things that need to be done, and or even just do tasks. And so if you're thinking, if the tasks stress you out, if you have a brain that gets scattered like mine does, and you're worried about leaving your keys in the car, your phone in the car, your sunglasses, it wouldn't be as important. But all those things that kind of make you walk around the parking like where's this and what is that? That's not a fun experience. And if you have the same purse every time or the same jacket every time and you've just got that system down, or you don't even have a problem losing things, then easy peasy, not a problem. But I tend to change out my purses. I have one bag for when I'm teaching yoga. I bring out this belt bag at times. I bring a leather bag other days that I want to look a little nicer. Yeah, I I should do this on video because my brain is just going like it's doing the stressed out. My head's just shaking like, oh, this is no easy. This is not an easy thing. But our brains have problems in different ways, and that can all lead to this. Is there hope? It's a question you can ask yourself. I'm asking myself that right now. Is there hope? Of course, there's hope. There's hope in different ways. One, that we can get ourselves to do some things if we dread them. We can. Sometimes we have to just jump in the pool that looks too cold, and you just start doing that thing and say, yeah, I need to do this. If it's really important, you can probably find a way to get yourself to do it. You can also change the priority of it. You can alter it. You can say, I'm an adult. I don't have to do this like everyone else does, and that's okay. You can tell yourself that every morning. It's okay if I don't do this. It's okay if I don't do that. It might have some consequences. I might not have as good a gum health as I could have if I had been somebody who'd used that spin brush when my husband started, and if I was flossing all the time. But, that's something that I get to live with, and that's okay. If there are consequences that you can see from what you dread or you avoid and seem so simple for other people. So I know I'm clouding this in obscurity, and it's really not an obscure topic, but just another aspect of this is there may be some things that you avoid doing or dread doing that affect others. And like with the grocery thing, I can have groceries delivered. Or I could tell my husband, I'm tired of buying the groceries. You go buy the groceries. There are ways around that. There are ways to make it so it doesn't affect other people if it is affecting other people, if there's not enough food in the house or something. If you ever struggle with or avoid or just can't get yourself to answer someone's texts, sometimes we don't answer texts because it's not the right time or we don't want to or we forget. We even saw the text. That happens to me a lot. But if you know someone has asked you a question or you need to respond and you want to respond, but you can't respond, that could affect your relationship with that other person. And why can't you respond? Why are you not responding? Someone in my life, and I won't say who she is because I haven't asked her permission to talk about it, but she has a really hard time answering texts. And a lot of times I'm trying to coordinate things with her or other people in our family will, and we don't hear back and we don't hear back. And she told me one day that she feels so bad at night, and she does have the ADHD. She also has ADHD. She told me one night that she feels so much guilt. She feels so bad, and even to the point of tears, that she isn't responding and she isn't in touch. But for some reason, responding has all those steps and takes a lot of her energy and a lot of her brain power. And she does have little children and she has pretty severe ADHD. So being able to do that is huge for her. And I can relate to that in some ways that sometimes and it depends on the text. If I can answer back with a quick answer, then that I can usually do that, or I can heart it or a thumbs up or something like that. But sometimes I'll hear from somebody, especially if it's someone I haven't heard from in a while, like through Messenger on Facebook or a DM or something. I want to respond completely or I don't want to respond at all. And so I don't do it because I don't have the time or energy to respond completely. And that might be hers. That might be I don't have time to do this and I can't just write this or I have to figure out all these things to figure out the answer to that and I don't have time for that. Or I just I just can't do it. I just can't get my brain to sit and do this right now. I found it really helpful for me anyway, and not everybody wants to do it, and they may not even want to receive them. But audio texts are so helpful to me that I can just record my voice explaining an answer that would be a lot harder in a text form. And I actually haven't figured out how to text with the audio feature on my phone. It's actually there. It seems like whenever I do that, I'm not do you ever do that, like, where you hold the button and you're not sure, like, "Am I supposed to hold this?" And then it sends before you even knew it, or you thought you were recording and you weren't? For some reason, I haven't mastered that with my brain, but I do know how to do the voice recording and send that. So I could do the voice recording, I can do it 3 different times if I want, and not worry about sending something that that isn't quite right or cut me off at the beginning or the end. It's not like I'm such a perfectionist about it that I go back and listen to myself afterwards, but I can see if it worked or not before I send it. And that's super helpful. It's kind of like using notes on your phone to write out a text and then copy and paste it and put it in the text before you send it to somebody. And that's actually another good idea if you struggle with answering people's texts, because there are times that sometimes autocorrect comes in and messes it up, or you send it too early, or you don't get a chance to read through it and think, is this really what I want to say, or am I saying too many words? Sometimes we need that answer to be appropriate. Hopefully, you're not feeling bad about not responding, and especially if the other person's upset with you. That's no fun, but we can only do what we can do, and I was really glad that this person expressed that to me because I let her know, "If you can't respond, I understand. I'm okay with that." And she's actually responded a lot more in the past several months. Not sure how that changed for her, but for the most part, she's able to respond, and I'm glad that that's working for her more than I'm glad that it's working for me. And hopefully people in your life can be understanding if there's something, "She hasn't answered my call," or "She didn't call back," or that kind of thing. In the olden days when we just had landlines, no cell phones, no answering machines, if you were gone, you were gone, and if you didn't want people to call, you took the phone off the hook, and if people had a problem with it, you just say, "Well, I was busy, I didn't want the phone to ring, I took the phone off the hook," or "I was gone." And you weren't responsible for all these expectations that people have. I'm sure we all have them, that someone's gonna respond to us when we write to them, call them, or whatever. But, yeah, life is interesting, isn't it? Thank you so much for being here today. I would love to hear if you write a list, if you, write out all your steps for whatever it is, if you have something in your life that you dread, that is simple for other people, but it feels very, very hard for you. Send me a message. You can email me if you want, or just go on my website. That might be the easiest. Go on renee-allen.com. And if you do the quiz at the top, that'll end up sending an email to me and I could be in touch with you that way. You could email me that way. Or, yeah, that's the best way. If you join my newsletter, and I've been trying to get a pop up on there, even though pop ups can be annoying. It's just set to just do pop up once a day. So if you do it, it'll never pop up for you again. But I had it on there once where I got it to work with the pop-up, and then I changed my mind and tried to do it a different way. Anyway, yeah, this week it hasn't been working. Life, life, life. I'll keep trying until I get it done. But yeah, go to the contact form on my website where it says Renee on the top right. Click on that. I'll have a contact form, and you can just write and tell me. And if you say, "This isn't long enough for all the things I want to tell you," because I feel that frustration. Sometimes you see this form and it only has room for a paragraph, and you're thinking, "I have more to say than a paragraph." Or someone writes in an email and says, write back with one word and tell me this. And I think I could never do it in one word because I tend to take people literally. Like I can't just say, like, how are you feeling today? Peaceful. Like that's not what I'm going to say. I have more to say than that. But I'm fine if you have more to say than that. But I'd love to hear what if there's something in your life, something little, something simple that feels hard, and listing out all the steps. It's kind of fun to see how many steps there are in our brains. I think that's it for today. Thanks for being here. I tried to have a theme for January. It's not completely there, but that talking about decluttering and organizing, but sometimes you have to talk about other things. My theme for February is more with relationships, Valentine's Day, love, but not actually in that way, like loving ourselves. I've been working on some affirmations to share on my blog and on Pinterest, and I yeah, it's that thing. It's not that I dread this task, it's just that I want it to be right. I want it to be something that's helpful. So when I'm done with that, I'll let you know. But I'll be back next week. Thank you so much for being here. Tell anyone you can think about my podcast, even if they don't have ADHD. I've had some people tell me, I don't have ADHD, I don't have anxiety, I don't have this or that. But it's helpful because you give me a lot of strategies of things that I do deal with. And yeah, I'd be happy to be able to help more people or just give you something to listen to that gets your own mind thinking. Because we do that, we apply what we hear to ourselves. And a lot of times inspiration comes. Inspiration comes from that of, oh, well, if I just did this, that could work out better for me. And that is my hope. And thank you so much for being here. I'll be back next week. Bye. Open windows, broken shadows. Frozen dreams are left for tomorrow. Without a cause. No time for a pause. Rewind, I've run out of time to sing melodies and harmonies. I'm cut short, the silence of sound has yet been found, but not by me.